The evacuation operations for foreigners in Sudan have entered the final stage. No political solution is on the horizon. According to the United Nations, the conflicting parties are not yet ready for negotiations. The humanitarian crisis is getting worse. Examples of polio and measles. The invasion created a new danger. The escape from Sudan continues. Foreign countries have reached the final stage in evacuation operations. 3 British planes brought more than 200 people to Cyprus, but some Britons say they did not reach their destination. Because the British government did not create a land evacuation convoy with buses. Everyone is responsible for their own transportation to airports and ports. Was asked to look. Saudi Arabia is evacuating hundreds of civilians of different nationalities on ships. Another convoy reached the port in Jeddah. The last caravan evacuated by France landed in Paris. They were welcomed by French Foreign Minister Catherine Colonna. France also uses frigates in evacuation operations. Germany has completed its evacuation operations. There will be no new flights. Millions of Sudanese are stranded in the country as the number of deportees increases. Civilians, who have been living in the shadow of the conflict for 2 weeks, have difficulty even finding food. Access to health services is limited. The looters are on the run. International aid organizations had to suspend operations due to security risk. According to the United Nations Refugee Agency, the risk of migration to neighboring countries is at the door. There is one more danger. In the capital Khartoum, a public laboratory with samples of diseases such as polio and measles was occupied. Experts are unable to enter the facility to secure samples. Are those entering the lab from the Sudanese army or are the rapid support forces unknown? The World Health Organization has warned of a high risk of biohazard. No political solution on the horizon. The United Nations declared that the parties were not ready for serious negotiations. Secretary-General Antonio Guterres reiterated his call for an immediate solution. The power struggle in the country does not only threaten Sudan's future. It also ignites a fuse that could explode beyond the limits. Conflicts must end immediately. I call on the parties to the conflict to silence the guns. It is the duty of Sudanese leaders to put the interests of the people at the center. This question cannot be resolved on the battlefield. Should not be resolved. Abdel Fattah el-Burhan, the commander of the army, does not agree to compromise. Paramilitary force wants to completely neutralize fast support forces.